Hello YouTube! Welcome to Sissy Says Revolution Day 6. Today we're going to be talking about the bullet point love under emotional health. So it's important to spread love in the world, but most importantly it's important to first find love within yourself so that you're able to spread it. I just want to dedicate this video to my Yaqui bloodline. Through oral history, it's been told from generation to generation that we're Yaqui. We are not registered, but our family can be traced to our Spanish ancestors that were on the missions in California. We definitely have strong ties to Mexico, California, Arizona, Nevada. A lot of the West used to be part of Mexico, but then it turned into the United States after the Mexican-American War. And so there's a big Mexican connotation, Mexican connection in my life. My dad is from Mexico proper. My grandma's from Guanajuato. But there's a lot of indigenous bloodline in Mexico as well. And I just want to kick off a little bit of my environmental side on this YouTube channel by playing this tune with a poem that I wrote previously. And I posted it on my personal Facebook, but now I'm ready to share it with you all on YouTube. I want to talk a little bit about my hair. I put 2 braids in, and I've exposed my ears. I've had a big self-conscious attitude towards my ears for most of my life, and towards my face and makeup and even skin color. I thought it was a little bit brown, but now I'm realizing that that's just an expression of the indigenous side in my bloodline, and that it's okay to be a little bit brown, and that I'm pretty no matter what I look like. It doesn't mean I'm going to eat everybody's cup of tea, and that's okay. It doesn't have to be that I'm beautiful to everybody. It's that I'm beautiful to myself. So I've stopped actually wearing makeup. I've stopped plucking my eyebrows and trying to buy into Western values and using more natural products on my skin. I've had eczema since I was a baby, and so my skin is very sensitive to products, and I've realized that if I just use simple moisturizers like just pure coconut oil, and then I don't dye my hair, I don't color my hair, I try keeping it as natural as possible, so that not only am I nurturing my body by not exposing it to harmful chemicals and toxins, I'm also being gentle to the earth, because all that product we use gets washed down our drains and put into the waterways. Even the medications we take, there's a lot of studies out there that talk about gabapentin being in the waterways because of how much we take it in Western culture. So I'm looking forward to being a little bit more environmentally conscious and spreading this message to the world and through the revolution. Thinking about looking at the world differently. Like, beauty is inside and out. I don't have to wear makeup to feel beautiful. I can feel beautiful in my natural state, and I'm happier actually this way. Happier not having to spend hours on my hair and makeup straightening my hair because I'm ashamed of the frizziness, or dyeing it because I think it needs to be darker so that it will contrast better against my skin, or hiding my ears because I think they're too big. I had a brother growing up who used to call me Dumbo, and it's child's play, but like, I really thought my ears were huge and that it made me unattractive. But like I said, it's about loving myself and just being real with myself about what I look like. And if you love me, you love me. If you don't, that's okay. Like, there's other people out there. Not everybody has to think I'm pretty. I have to think I'm pretty first. So I want to go ahead and perform this poem for you that I wrote to kick off the revolution, and then talk about the love parts in this poem, so that I can express my feelings in a change the world kind of attitude, but change it with love. So how can we come together, bring people together, so that we can work together and find common ways of living together in a more peaceful, harmonious world. I feel like there's spiritual warfare, psychic warfare everywhere right now. And I want to be on the side of God. I want to fight for what's right if I'm going to be in there. And I want to make sure that the weapons we use are full of love and compassion. So let me go ahead and jump into the performance. This poem is called SS Revolution. Divinely guided, salvation and success. We look for true love. God is love, they say. Essential is protection. In open fields, we protect the earth. Like the Boston Tea Party, like Valley Forge in the summer, like Ford's Theater in D.C. My ancestors want peace. Jesus is on our team. At least that's what I believe. The poetry lives in me. Release me from slavery. Let's bring back justice. Thank you. So I just want to go ahead and talk a little bit about this poem that I wrote called SS Revolution, which is Sissy Says Revolution. This poem I wrote because I think that it's important right now to stand up for what we believe in. I've been seeing a lot of garbage and pollution in the waterways. There's a creek near the house where I grew up where my uncle and my grandfather used to fish for crawdads. And when I walk past that creek, I look at it and I say, you know what, I would not fish for crawdads in this creek. I used to play in that creek when I was a little girl, where when we'd cross, when we go home from school, we'd cross the creek with our friends, and we'd cross and we'd sometimes get water around our ankles. And now I look at it and I'm like, I don't think I would play in that creek. And that's a shame, because that means my kids don't get to play in the water the way I got to play in the water. Also, I have a great love for this country. And so when I think about revolution, I think about all the revolutions that have been fought for freedom, for justice, for love, for our families. However, you know, my indigenous side has paid a big price in the development of Western culture in North and South America. And so I believe it's now time for there to be a change, and I want to be part of the change. I want to see if I can change myself and help inspire others to change themselves, so that we can build communities and people and bring people together, so that we can live with the hope that this earth will be around for 7 generations to come. I talk about the Boston Tea Party. I'm a big history buff, so there was a bunch of colonialists that threw tea into the harbor in Boston, which set off one of the great independence, fight for independence. And so sometimes I feel like that now. I joke around, I'm going to take matcha tea and I'm going to throw it into the ocean, so that, just to make a point, you know, dress up like a Native American. And I'm a half-breed, you know, I know I'm Spanish, European, and mixed with indigenous blood, but that's okay. You know, a lot of us are mixed, and maybe that's what God wanted when God gave me that vision of Jesus coming and offering his hand to my Native American ancestors, reminding me that, you know, I have that strong belief in Jesus, but without my ancestors I wouldn't be here today. And going through the Bible, and I've been reading the Bible from front to back. I'm in Jeremiah right now because I want to get a feel for the Old Testament, what Jesus went through, and as I read through the Old Testament, I see a lot of the bloodlines explained in the Bible. And when I do my genealogy and my research, I look at my last name, Mejia, and then some of our other names like Perez and Chavez, Ramirez, and trying to look at where they came from in Spain. And Perez definitely is Sephardic, I believe, Jewish name, where there were some Hebrews that were in Spain that had Spanish last names. When they went to Spain, of course, they changed their names, and maybe even Mejia could be a form of Messiah, being Hebrew linked. I mean, there's different theories about Mejia. It could also mean medicine, which is also appropriate since my grandmother on my father's side was an old world healer, and my mother's line has spiritual gifts. So I definitely have that healer energy on both sides of the bloodline, and I definitely myself feel sometimes the gifts are overwhelming in my life, and that's why I've embarked on this journey to battle against what I felt has been darkness attacking me. And so this healthy foundations chart is my way of trying to focus on love, because I've come up with my theory right now is that one of the ways to fight against that in spiritual warfare is to stay on the side of love and try to keep myself as pure as possible to fight against what I see and feel are injustices in the world. I don't want to walk around with a victim mentality. I've been through a lot of trauma, and we haven't delved too deep into what that is, but I'm really trying to focus on love, but at the same time be a revolutionary and look at the world differently than I have in the past. And loving all the different sides of me, whether it be Spanish or indigenous, and bringing those two sides together. Definitely Catholicism, Christianity comes from that Spanish foundation, and being assimilated into Western culture. I was raised very American. I'm all American and born and raised in California, born in San Francisco. Haven't lived anywhere else but California. Now I'm in Las Vegas. I came here to get away, to find myself. My kids are older. My oldest child is about to be 22, and my youngest is about to be 18. My 17-year-old, who's going to be 18, lives with her dad. And my middle child, who's 20 now, is at the university. So I don't have the little kids around me the way I did when I was younger. I was a teenage mother, so I gave birth quite young, and I don't think I've ever really had a chance to figure out who I am. And unfortunately, I would have liked to have known earlier, so I can could be a better mother. But I have faith because of the prophecy that's been said over my kids, and just them being amazing, that it's going to be all right. God will take anything and make it good. So I'm definitely not perfect, and I'll be the first to admit it, because that's the whole reason I'm on this journey, is to make myself a better person. I talk about Valley Forge in the summer. I went to Valley Forge in high school. I was also a battalion commander for my high school, and they sent me to the East Coast to see Valley Forge and Forge Theater, which was really in the Smithsonian and other landmarks in Washington, D.C. And it was a really inspirational trip. Valley Forge is where big battles were fought. And Ford's Theater is where Abraham Lincoln was shot, and he is definitely my inspiration for what I'm out of the presidents, for what I'm doing. Abraham Lincoln was on his day, and he freed the slaves. Kind of reminds me of Moses from Exodus. And so Abraham Lincoln was also a Republican, and I've just recently switched from Democrat to Republican because of their emphasis on God. I don't feel like the Democrats have been pushing that as much, and that it's time for the Republicans to go back to the party of Abe Lincoln. And when I say that, I mean, look at how we can stop this consumerism, corporatism that we've created in America, and get some of our smartest and brightest students out of corporate America, out of that money, just so that we can have more, I think perversion, because look at how we're treating the world. Look at our relationships. I want to go to somewhat backwards. If it was up to me, sometimes I just fantasize about living in a teepee and having a really pure life. I know that's not possible. It's more of a dream, but I'm sure there's a happy medium where we can create communities or communes where we can live together in a more healthy way, where we focus on community gardens and the basics, clean air, water, soil, and managing fire correctly. So that's why I definitely feel like I want to start this revolution, but I definitely mentioned my ancestors want peace and Jesus is on our team. Just re-emphasizing that connection and bringing those two ideas together. Why can't we have the indigenous, the respect for Mother Earth, that stewardship of the earth, meet Jesus, where we work on protecting our children, looking 7 generations down, and leading with love, loving your neighbor, and making sure we're all taken care of. And finally, release me from slavery. Let's bring back justice. Let's just change this paradigm. It's time for a change. I'm ready for a change. Are you ready for a change? Let's do this together. Let's do it with love. And I'm just learning to love myself, love my ideas, whether they be extreme or radical, and just kind of put them out there and have a starting point. So that's kind of where I'm at right now. I hope you feel the love. That love can come in many different forms, but instead of fighting with bullets, fighting with anger and distrust, I just want to learn to fight with love and compassion, and see if we can start there before we go to that level. So here we go. Water is life. Let's see what we can do to clean it up and start those gardens and work together. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. I hope you guys enjoy whatever you're going to do next, because I'm going to send you some love. Amen. Amen.